Yo, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Let's get this shared real quick. There we go. Hope everybody's doing well. It's been a crazy day for me. I can tell you that. It has been wild. Hope everybody's doing well. What's up, Trip? How's it going? I'm just getting this link. About to go live with ESPN Upstate, talking Gamecocks. I'm sure we're going to talk about the football coaching staff changes. I'm sure we're going to talk. I'm sure we're going to talk baseball. I'm sure we're going to talk women's basketball game tonight. There's a lot going on right now. So just literally waiting on their call. Hope everybody's doing well, though. Like I said, it has been a super busy day. It has been a super busy day. Shoot. God dang, I'm just clicking the wrong things. Sorry, guys. I'm just sharing everything on social media right now. So, like I said, it has been a crazy day. The content is rolling. The content is absolutely rolling. So it is nuts. Hope everybody's doing well, though. Happy Monday. Happy game day. Gonna talk about if we don't talk about the coaching changes on this radio spot, which I'd be shocked if we don't. I'll address it here, obviously. But score prediction for tonight, I think the Gamecocks. I don't know an exact score. I'm thinking something like 72-70, but I think South Carolina gets the win. I think the Gamecocks finally break that streak and pull it out and get that UCONN husky-sized monkey off their back. I think they do. I think they find a way. So. Sorry for the glare behind me as well, guys. I threw together the studio real quick for this Daily Crow. Like I said, we got a ton of interviews been going on today, ton of stuff. So I apologize if it's kind of thrown together right now. But yeah. So hope everybody's doing well, though. ESPN Upstate is what I don't know if you're talking about the basketball game. 107.5, the game will carry the basketball game for what I'm about to do right now. It's ESPN Upstate. I'm not 100% sure. Depends on where you are. What station it would be. That's why I do this, though, because I'm just, not everybody's in the Upstate and can listen. So, or you can go to their website, the TuneIn website. Just Google ESPN Upstate, go to TuneIn. It'll be there. So I'm still waiting on their call here. So. Okay. Literally just waiting on their call. So, sorry, guys. I'm sharing a bunch of stuff on social media right now. So, sharing a bunch of stuff on social media, trying to get it in before they call me. I don't know if I will, but we'll see. So yeah, we actually just added a tennis writer, believe it or not. So we're gonna be talking Gamecocks tennis. So, and here they are calling right here. Hi, this is Chris.
Hey, Chris, this is Lonzo, ESPN Upstate.
Hey, Lonzo, what's up, man?
Nothing much. We got about a minute and a half.
Okay.
I hope you're a big lacrosse fan because you need to talk to Marc about lacrosse.
Yeah, I support the club lacrosse boys here at USC. So I mean, I do what I can, but
Really,
yeah.
You need to bring that up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hang on.
They're with the Chargers when they're sure to come up in regulations for Clay Rivers and Tom Brady. He would be right for what LA needs, though, in the opinion of ESPN Chargers reporter Eric Williams.
It's older than Philip. Got to come in and learn his system and then play for coaches he hasn't played before. But again, I think they need to get a younger quarterback that's going to give them the chance to compete against Patrick Mahomes for the next decade. I think it makes more sense for them to look for that replacement through the draft.
Eric Williams, I'd first take your take. Suspended Browns defenseman Myles Garrett met with the NFL today about his reinstatement into the league. He was suspended indefinitely for his role in a fight against the Steelers in November. Number 1 Baylor goes for a 21st straight win tonight against Texas. 9 Eastern on ESPN TV and the ESPN app.
You love iced tea. It's smooth and refreshing with just the right flavor. You also love to be a little twisted. That's why Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea has everything you love because it's made with real fruit tea and a kick. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Be a little twisted. Drink responsibly. Strong takes, big opinions. Join the discussion. This is Offside with Marc.
All right, you guys should be able to hear this. Should be able to hear this right here.
You're coming to Asheville, Lonzo. You are.
All right. It's great to be back here with you. Offsides with Marc Ryan, ESPN Upstate. Poor form by me, guys, and I apologize. I've teased something a couple times, and I realized that we were joined right now by a good friend of the show, the Spurs Up Show, Chris Phillips, joining us to talk about this women's basketball game. But before we do, Chris, there's been a bit of a mass exodus of coaches in Columbia over the weekend, of football coaches. Can you go through the defections one by one? This bigger picture, this has to be a lack of confidence in Will Muschamp's future there, no?
It does seem like that. I mean, you take a look, obviously, Thomas Brown, running backs coach, headed to the LA Rams. Brian McClendon, it sounds like he's doing the interview today, but it just sounds like that's pretty much a given. He's going to be the new wide receivers coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. John Scott Jr., the defensive line coach, headed to Penn State, getting an extension and a raise there. Also, one of their big recruiting guys and kind of director of player operations, Matt Lindsay, headed to Ole Miss. So definitely a lot of changes right now. And listen, I think it's the business of college coaching. I really don't, it's funny, as critical as I am of Will Muschamp and this program and everything, I really don't hold it against him and say that it's anything he did necessarily. I mean, listen, those guys aren't stupid. They understand what's going to happen if 2020 goes south, right? Everybody's going to be out. But can you really blame two guys for taking NFL jobs and then John Scott Jr. for going to a Penn State program that, I mean, let's face it, it's in a much, much better position than USC, and he's getting an extension and a raise. So honestly, I attribute it more so to the business of college coaching, but you could also argue on the counterpoint, you see other schools not have this problem. And again, it's just right after signing day, it's not the greatest look in the world, especially with, again, all the pressures we know is coming in 2020 for Will Muschamp. But listen, Marc, the way I look at this 2020 season was never going to come down to a running backs coach. It was never going to come down to a defensive line coach. There's two guys on that staff that have to coach their tails off in order to come back in 2021, and that is Will Muschamp and Mike Bobo. If those two guys don't coach well, nobody's coming back anyways, in my opinion. So
yeah, but it's also to me, everybody's looking out for themselves, and it's a little bit of a lack of loyalty to Will Muschamp as well. That there's not a lot of loyalty if everybody's, hey man, this is a sinking ship. Let's get off. I will not accept anything other than that when I look at all the coaches that are leaving right now. But I do want to flip it to a more positive event. Tonight's women's basketball game, South Carolina against UConn. I said on the show, Chris, that I haven't been a women's basketball fan over the course of my life. I think soccer and tennis, the women's version, are better than the men's. Mm-hmm. Track and field, I enjoy the women's version better than the men's. I've always felt the rim should be 9 feet, so there could be the slam dunk, which is the most exciting play in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
But, Chris, I am giving this a shot tonight. And I'm reading an article that says a lot at stake for Gamecock women in big showdown against UConn. It doesn't mention the biggest thing that's at stake. That is earning the casual fans' eyes again. You're on the marquee tonight, Chris. You're on the marquee. What does South Carolina do? What do they have to do to be able to earn the eyes of a casual sports fan like me and other casual sports fans out there that may be giving this product a shot for the first time this evening?
Well, they've got to win. I mean, it's pretty simple answer. They've got to win. They got to show up on the big stage. Listen, it's a sold-out crowd tonight at Colonial Life Arena. I mean, the biggest key to the game for me for these South Carolina women is play this UConn team. Don't play the past teams. Don't play the winning streak. Don't play all the national champions. It's kind of like when somebody plays Alabama in football, right? You think of the mystique, and a lot of people are beat before they even take the field. This team tonight, I don't think they'll be that way, but you can't go into this one thinking of UConn as this walking giant. You've got to simply, as much as you can, try to approach this as another basketball game. But when trying to attract the eyes and the ears of the casual fan, if you will, one, they need to show up on the big stage and win. And two, honestly, getting a big win, kind of blowing out UConn, I think completely shifts the women's basketball focus of, maybe this is the dawning of a new era, kind of a play on words there with Dawn Staley, but maybe this is the beginning of a new era with South Carolina women's basketball really taking over. I mean, you take a look at their entire team, it's mostly true freshmen. So I don't think they're really going anywhere. And again, this is one of those, Mark, that if you don't beat UConn this time on your home floor, sold out arena, UConn this year is not quite what they've been in the past. You can't get that UConn, that husky-sized monkey off your back, if you will, tonight. I don't know when you're going to do it. So again, I think South Carolina needs to come out. They need to win. They need to win impressively if they're going to get someone like your attention, for example. I think that's what needs to happen for sure.
Yeah, and look, who cares about my attention? I am but one guy, but I think I represent a public where if you look at the WNBA ratings, 0.3 versus the NBA ratings 3.0,
right?
There's a sizable difference there, man. I do believe there are steps that women's basketball can take to make it more appeasing to the casual viewer. I think women's basketball needs its Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
I really do. Mm-hmm. And this Ionescu, the point guard at Oregon, I'm hearing great things like how she could transcend the game. Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, right before he passed, said Ionescu could play in the NBA today.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's when you're not used to hearing that, that's a shocking statement. So I think what would surprise people, and when I was in college, Chris, I had friends who I have a friend, one of my best friends, still believes that there isn't a woman that could beat him at anything athletic. He felt like he could beat Layla Ali in boxing, right? And he's like my size, 5'11". I'm 6 foot, but he's 5'11", about 185, 190. He said he could beat Layla Ali in boxing, that our intramural basketball team would beat any women's basketball team. I don't think people realize just how high a level these ladies are playing at.
Right. No, I agree with you. I mean, you take a look, just for example, she's not at South Carolina anymore, but Asia Wilson. I mean, you can't realistically tell me you're going to go out there on the floor right now and beat Asia Wilson. I would say any of these women in the top programs. I think it's just kind of a foolish argument. But now, yeah, I mean, I know everybody in Columbia is really excited, looking forward to a big game tonight. You know what I think? Not to take anything away from this game tonight or the women's basketball program, but Mark, I think one thing it should prove to all the other USC sports, because like you said, I want to make a point. The ratings for women's basketball, they're not nearly what the NBA are. When we have coaches complaining about lack of attendance or people, win, and they will show up. There's no question. South Carolina averages over 10,000 fans a game for women's basketball. You put a winning product on the floor, fans are going to show up and support you. And again, they got a sold-out crowd tonight. So I think it's just really interesting. I think tickets right now for the lower level are going for like 200 plus for that game tonight. Wow. So, I mean, yeah, it's a hot ticket for sure. It's a hot ticket, no doubt.
Wow, that is so tell us a little bit about the Oncourt product and what South Carolina is going to try to do against Gino Auriemma.
Yeah, I really like Aaliyah Boston, first off. I mean, she's great with the basketball. I mean, overall, again, I think you've got to play with tempo and you got to attack this UConn team. South Carolina's got to be very physical. Obviously, again, UConn, I'm not going to say they're going to try to live off their past successes, but they're going to try to come out, bully South Carolina around. You know what Gino's saying in this pregame. Like, listen, with all this hype, whatever, they're number one in the country. Maybe they're feeling themselves. We've beat them 8-9 straight times. This is no big deal. We're Goliath and they are David. I think you're going to see a South Carolina team again come out, try to punch UConn in the mouth early, attack, and kind of go from there and just see what happens. But, these games have been, let's be honest, not many of them have been close. So I expect to see a South Carolina team coming out with a chip on their shoulder again, try to work the ball outside to in. And I'm expecting a very ferocious attack from South Carolina tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be fascinating to watch, man. And I like the fact that women's basketball has the marquee tonight. If you think about it, there's not many nights like this, Chris, where, in terms of the other events going on, this is it tonight. Not only in our area, but nationally.
Yeah.
This is it. You've got the marquee. You've got our attention. What you do with this opportunity will determine how many more opportunities like this you get.
Yeah.
I mean, and that to me is the major selling point. Dawn Staley, I think it's one of the hardest things to do. One of the hardest things to do in sports is to build a women's college basketball program, because the 4- and 5-star players all go to the same schools that they've heard about their whole lives, right? They all go to they went to the Tennessee when Pat Summitt was there, and the UConns and the Notre Dames and so on and so forth in women's college hoops. How has Dawn Staley done this? How has she created something out of nothing here in Columbia?
I think it's just a reputation. Her reputation precedes her. You take a look, Team USA. And I mean, you talk to Dawn and you hear Dawn talk. She's just such a genuine person. I think that really resonates. And I mean, again, it's one of those momentum things is once you start winning, it kind of continues and you're able to recruit better players and better players and better plays. And obviously now, I mean, she's got this thing absolutely rolling. But I really would attribute it to the type of person Dawn Staley is. Again, I don't know her like on a personal level or anything, but you hear her speak, you hear her players talk about her, nothing but great things to say. I think that's really what it comes down to. And again, obviously, her knowledge of the game, again, being a Team USA basketball player, that certainly helped. She surrounded herself with a great staff as well. But she was able to win some of those in-state recruiting battles. I mean, keeping someone like an Asia Wilson home, you'd relate that to keeping like a Jadeveon Clowney or maybe a Jordan Birch if he pans out. But like in that type of regard, I think that's the way you equate it to. And then again, once you build up that momentum, you establish yourself as that program. It gets easier and easier from there. You're kind of, building off your reputation, if you will. But now this is a big one tonight. I really just think because of, South Carolina, even their national title they won back in 2017, they didn't have to beat UConn for it. And that's the big knock. And everybody want to say, oh, if you guys would have played UConn, because if you remember, Mississippi State beat UConn to get to that title game, and then the Gamecocks beat Mississippi State. So, again, I think South Carolina is going to come out with a chip on their shoulder. They've been hearing that for 3-4 years, whatever, and I think South Carolina comes out really energized in front of a packed house. It's going to be a really fun night, no question.
Chris Phillips, the Spurs Up Show, the best South Carolina podcast in existence in the Columbia area, does a fantastic job. Chris, always great to be joined by you, buddy. Thanks for making the time.
Thanks so much, Mark. Appreciate it. Anytime.
You got it. All right. Chris Phillips, the Spurs Up Show. This is.
And there you go. There you go. So we spent the entire time talking women's basketball, but obviously a huge game tonight. Glad we did. Very, very excited. How many of y'all are going to be in the building? I'd love to know. I'm very, very pumped for that game. Very pumped. Like you said, we are on the national stage. Should be a lot of fun. Normally, guys, I take a few questions. I've actually got to go, though. We've got an interview coming up in literally like 10 minutes, so I got to get ready for that. Really do appreciate you guys tuning in. Be sure to check out the SpursUpShow.com, all the social media outlets. Obviously, the content overflow, obviously, with baseball coming up. We got softball, we got women's basketball, we got football, we got everything. So if you haven't tuned in, by the way, the Spurs Up Show episode 209 featuring Kendall Rogers. Do yourself a favor and listen to that. If you don't, you're doing yourself a disservice, I'm telling you. Football, baseball, basketball, season preview, coaching changes, the women's game tonight, the men's game over the weekend. I mean, it's a content overload. So be sure to check it out, guys. Really do appreciate it. Like I said, I'm going to go take care of this interview, and we will talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much.